My bird of paradise that I keep indoors is flowering this year, and the key to get yours to flower is giving it as much bright and direct light as possible. I keep mine up against the glass of my unobstructed south-facing windows. But explain to me why my dad, who has been growing birds of paradise for the last 20 years, has never gotten any of his to flower. Yes, he's obviously jealous, and when I texted my mom the picture, he ended up calling me a brat, and in typical dad fashion, he's demanding his plant back.
I wasn't upset. I was happy for you. I was happy for me.
For you? You're happy for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
For giving it to you.
That's interesting, because I didn't...
Yes, he did give me the plant 2 years ago, but I'm completely claiming all of this growth on the things that I've been doing to this plant. This is why I think his plants aren't flowering. My dad keeps all of his tropical plants outdoors, so from May to September, his plants are right here, outdoors, getting full, bright, and direct sunlight. But when he has to move his plants indoors to the winter, they go into his sunroom. Because of the size and height of some of his plants, particularly his frangipani, his bird of paradise don't actually get that much lighting inside of his sunroom. That's basically 7 months of pretty poor lighting.
Do you think that the frangipanis are blocking most of your light accessing the bird of paradise?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Possible. Like on a real sunny day, I find the light filters right through to where I have the bird of paradise. But in the winter, it's not like you get consistent sunlight.
Birds of paradise really struggle to flower indoors, especially in Canada because of the reduced light throughout the winter months. Mother Grow Lights reached out and sent me these Plant Spectrum 32 grow lights. I'm setting them up directly inside of his sunroom so that they can supplement his birds of paradise throughout the entire winter. With more consistent lighting throughout the winter, I think that his plants will be able to flower next fall and winter. Another must for getting your birds of paradise to flower indoors is having consistently high temperatures. This summer in Toronto, we had almost 3 weeks straight of heat waves in July. And of course, I would rather stick to my bed sheets than turn the air conditioning on, so having all of that heat was a huge boon for my plants. You could also consider getting a heating mat if the temperatures in your home stay relatively cool. Usually these are made to help your seeds germinate faster, but if you put your plant down on the mat, it heats up the soil, which basically tricks your plant into thinking that it's in a warmer climate. Another great candidate for a plant that could use a heating mat is the Philodendron Paricio Verde. This plant actually has interesting variegation that really only comes through with high light and high heat. My dad's plants have no issues with heating because they stay pretty warm throughout the entire year inside his sunroom. With higher heat and lots of plants also comes pretty high humidity. Now while that's great for his plants, it's also not so great for your electronics. These Mother Grow Lights are IP65 water and dust resistant, so you don't need to worry about the electronics or the LED board getting ruined by high humidity or any water splashes. When setting up these grow lights, I prefer to have them set up on a stand. Because there's so many plants in here, he really needs something with a low profile that he can actually get in close to his plants. It does have different options for overhead mounting as well, but with light coming through the ceiling of his sunroom, it's not really needed for his situation. The Mother website takes all of the guesswork out of how long and how close your grow light should be interacting with your plant. At 20 inches away for about 6 to 8 hours a day, this should put my dad's plant in the perfect position to receive the right amount of light.
What would you say is the most important thing that you changed in your care of the bird of paradise to make your latest one more successful?
I think number one was pest control. I have a little concoction that I mix up which kills everything. The actual bug, the eggs, everything. Some of my plants, they were so filled with bugs that I ended up having to throw some of them out instead of trying to control them.
Having your bird of paradise outdoors in the spring and summer for massive amounts of lights is one of the best things you can do to get your bird of paradise to flower. But you do have to be aware of pests, particularly thrips, spider mites, and mealybugs. You really have to come prepared with a comprehensive pest management strategies, especially for when you move those plants back indoors in the fall and winter.
Right now I have 2 into 1 pot. I'm wondering if they're, like stunting each other's growth. So my idea was to put them in their separate pots and see if that has any effect on their growth. I think I need also to fertilize them a lot more. Giving them their own separate house, so to speak, will improve their growth and maybe get them to flower quicker.
The bird of paradise that my dad gave me was in that original pot with those 2 other plants, which he removed and potted up separately. When you're buying a bird of paradise from a nursery, especially when you're getting into the larger sizes, they're almost always potted together with 2 or 3 plants. So we hope that with less competition for nutrients, the plants will be able to absorb more of that fertilizer and be ready to flower for next season. In general, I use slow-release fertilizer throughout most of my plant collection. It's really nothing special. The fertilizer is for foliage growth, and it does its job fine enough. However, when I did finally notice a flower stalk was growing, I immediately switched over to a fertilizer that was more tailored towards blooming. You're looking for a higher middle number, the P, that's the phosphorus, in your NPK values. The plant spectrum lights are perfect if you're looking for something that goes under a shelf, or you can keep low to the ground that still has a low profile and a sleek and stylish look. These lights are really designed to last a lifetime. Mother Grow Lights has a 4-year warranty on top of the lights being rated to last at around 8 years. The build is made from recycled aluminum, which dissipates heat efficiently and protects your LED board from getting damaged. And I do mean designed to last a lifetime because when it's finally time to replace the LED board, you can just buy a replacement board, switch it out very easily, and continue to use these products for the entire time that you own houseplants. Before you shop, click the link in the description and enter KTP to receive your coupon at checkout with a minimum purchase amount. While my dad is loving the light so far, I asked him if you should subscribe, and well...
Let me think about that. No.